Hi everyone. Thank you so much to Virality for having us today. This means a lot to the team as Virality, as you'll see in the film, has a really valuable voice in this documentary. This film portrays a friendship formed inside a virtual reality that resulted in an ultimately life-changing connection made in the real world. Thank you to our two main subjects, Hayu and Photographer. Thank you so much to my collaborator, Max Films VR, and additionally to our artists within Painted Clouds, and our producers, Bryn and Justin at Documentary Plus. I want to mention that the film was going to release today. However, we've decided to delay due to some really exciting news we'll be sharing very soon. The film will be released in June this month. Keep an eye out on our social media channels for updates there. We'll be engaging in a panel conversation about the making of the film after the screening, so please stay tuned for that. I hope you connect with these two kind and talented people and the community that brought them together. Over to you, Max.
Hello, I'm Max Films VR and the producer of this documentary. I want to say a big thank you to the community what helped out with this film, and it's been a genuine honor working along so many talented and extraordinary individuals. I also want to say that I truly believe this documentary captures what the furry community is all about and what we are and what we do. I hope you enjoy.
Before VR really was a thing, I cared very deeply for virtual places. There were a lot of games with wonderful stories, wonderful environments and art styles that I would play, and I was always mesmerized by the designers and artists' ability to put an emotion into a place. From about 11 or 12, I just knew that I wanted to do that. So I got into games for about 9-10 years. About 5 years through that was when VR started becoming a thing, and I was messing around with it. But at that point, I started to realize that this was what I wanted to be doing, and that kid who wanted to make all that stuff was still in me. So I'm currently with a group that creates events in virtual reality called Virality. And my role, I essentially lead the world creation aspect of their team.
Virality is an organization that has pulled together some of the most talented and passionate people in the furry community here in virtual reality.
There are panels, meetups. There's also a club. We get to design all kinds of impossible locations. This past one was in a volcano.
One of the best things is seeing the work that I do for this team come to life.
You don't just create a place that affects people a certain way, but they also create new memories in those places.
Virality is just this incredible collection of creative people helping to bring together a community that is all over the world.
The best way to describe it is to considering it as a subset of another form of nerd culture, where you have your Trekkies or people that are fans of Lord of the Rings. You have your furries, which are the fans of anthropomorphic arts and that entertainment.
It's really this incredible immersive experience where everyone gets to be their own character.
I get to have people see me the way that I want to, and I really don't get the chance to have that in real life.
A lot of people have said that ACO is one of their favorite conventions they've ever attended. And they said it's kind of because of the full experience of walking into a vast ocean and seeing these beautiful colors.
Virality Aqua showed through both its visuals, its record attendance, that we are a strong community. The VR furry community is here to stay.
It's just so wonderful hearing the stories of people who, made friends for the first time, lifelong friends. Some people proposed to their partner in these worlds during these events. It's amazing hearing those stories from people. And, for them, the event lasted a few days of the year, but for us, a good portion of the year. So in February 2018, I go for a routine checkup with the doctor. And the next day, I get a call. I'm at work just after lunch saying, you need to go to the ER immediately. And they tell me that I have low kidney function, and they're afraid that it'll suddenly get lower and lower. So this is really scary for me because it felt like everything was crashing down. 5 years later, in end of 2022, around Christmas time, right after Christmas, I get a call, you're on 10% kidney function. And I figured that I didn't need dialysis because, I still had strength. I still could go places and do things. But it's also the case that I still need to be strong in case I need some kind of surgery or in case I, am to get a donor and have a transplant. I need to be strong for that. So I put out a message to my friends and I said, hey, this is something that just happened to me. And that's when I got a message from a person called Photographer.
I just thought it would be a neat thing to do, to donate a kidney for some reason. It's something that I had thought about for years at that point. I guess I just kind of always knew that at some point in my life, I'm going to encounter somebody that I cared about a lot that was going through that, and I'd try to help out with that. And, that was the opportunity.
Right now, we're in the middle of a waiting period. Because he's coming from abroad, there's a mandatory 3-month waiting period. It's part of ensuring that there's no coercion or any funny business going on. So right now we're about a month and a half away from our what we think will be the operation date.
So we're getting there. We're getting close. As time goes on, my commitment just keeps going up. I just want to do it. I'm tired of waiting. 3, 2. As soon as I reached out to Hayu and told him I wanted to do this, I started taking fitness a lot more seriously. Early on, when I first started joining for these fitness sessions, I went up to one of the 2 instructors that runs this stuff. The one I spoke to was Snake, and I told him why I was joining for these sessions.
I wanted to ensure that we could provide whatever we could to help the situation. This is kind of what we're all about. These people never would have met Hayu and Fodder, never would have known each other existed, but because the community that pulled together around this virtual reality escapade, it brought them together in such a meaningful way that somebody could actually greatly impact another person's well-being through just the ultimate act of pure kindness.
Hayu is one of the most brilliant people I have ever met. He is stubborn, and when he gets his mindset on something, he is going to do it. Both of them, actually.
Otter is a goofball, but he's everybody's goofball.
It really is just a big family.
Yeah.
For real.
No, this is going to be good.
It feels like it's years.
Yeah. I know.
It's been so long.
It's been so
It
long.
would have been a lot longer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Father.
Yeah. I love you, Hayu. Wait, there we go. I love you. I was surprised at myself for making that decision as quickly as I did. I always said to myself that I value myself based on how much I'm able to give to others. But I guess it never really got put into practice. So I don't know. You don't really know until you know the rubber hits the road and you got to actually do something.
I remember it being sort of a casual affair where he mentioned to me one day, just like as a thing he was doing, that he was going to give his kidney to one of his friends. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like you. Have fun. I'm here to support you in every crazy, wonderful, kind thing that you do. I'm gonna be at the house alone for a while. While he's off halfway across the earth doing something really amazing. But, you know, it's cool. How you can thank me later.
When I go out for the surgery and stuff, I expect we're going to be, just because of the time zone differences, it makes communication kind of difficult. Basically, the only time that we can like actually have a phone call is like morning for them in New York and nighttime for me in Sweden.
So we recently announced Virality Umbra, our 2024 VR FurryCon event here on VR Chat. And after the transplant surgery, I have 3 months where I've got to just kind of chill. Hopefully, if all goes well, then Virality Umbra should happen just a little bit after that 3-month period is over. Being able to continue working on this after the surgery and in the lead up to things, support my team and stuff. I'm looking forward to still being able to do that. And we're now less than a month from the date. So it's like 5 or 6 more dialysis that I have alone, and that'll be it, hopefully.
Yeah. There are actually 3 numbers I've been keeping track of. The first number is the amount of days until the surgery. The second one is the amount of days until I fly out. But the third one, which I consider to be the most important, is the amount of dialysis sessions that you have left.
How many is it?
10.
I have brought you a coffee and a kidney, but you have to wait on that one.
Thank you.
I mean, it's really good to be back. Just since in my head, I've never left. I've just been so focused.
I'm just really excited that you're here just because like you're awesome to be around, like genuinely. Like, no, seriously though, you're just like such a, this is pretty depressing here, you know, and I try to occupy myself with it, but like in VR, I told you I was feeling like for you, this is the beginning of something. This is something that's happening at a time and then start something. But for me, it felt like an ending, like ending all this. But now it's starting to feel like a start for me as well.
You know, we're gonna get there. We're getting really close.
To be together. Finally.
This is something that I can say, you know, every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. I can say, my friend isn't at dialysis today.
Oh, come on. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll keep you in the same place so you can walk around in real life.
Okay. You're back
Yep.
in the world? But I don't want to be back, actually. This is so cool. And there's things hanging from the tree. More is there crystals?
Mm-hmm. This specific world was myself and one other artist spending time working on.
Amazing. I like your design. I like it. You have a good sense of coloring, I think.
Yeah. We just end up like,
yeah,
as
I
soon
like
as I
the
got
colors.
into that, it just became, that magic never left me. It's still there. All these years later, it's like I go in like.
You know, I had not even heard about kind of having your relationships in VR. And then to hear that he has found his donor in the virtual reality, that was quite amazing to me. The biggest benefit of doing self-dialysis rather than doing it at an institution is that you have power over your own life. Your sickness is there, even actually if you have a transplant. There's no guarantees on how long his kidney will actually work, even though he gets one and he can get a more normal life. Suddenly, it's not working anymore, and he will be back in dialysis. Could happen. Could happen a long time from now. It could happen next year or right away. And I think that's what really helps when you do self-dialysis or home dialysis especially. You learn how to just fit this into your life and live, not like live and then go do your treatment.
So, tomorrow we actually start at 8. We're gonna be there very early. Pretty respectable time.
This must feel weird.
Yeah. It's hard to, because I'm still in the headspace of like, you know, it's hard to be out of that, right? Yeah. It still feels routine.
It's not yours yet until it's in you, but at some point before then, I have to give like the permission for it. And today, they had me sign that paperwork. I said, can I have a copy of that? And he was like, oh yeah, no. And he like brought up a second one. He's like, no, you take one with you. And I'm like, great. That's going on my wall. Yeah, but perfect. Keeping it safe.
Killed by Atlas.
Father, there was an orbital strike on the Pelican that someone put in. That was a team effort, Fodder. Right. That's it. Now we're gonna clean up after ourselves. Oh. Yeah, it's still not set in.
0.
I feel like I'm coming back.
0.
0. Zero.
I'll let you disinfect on the outside.
Yeah.
Since the beginning of all this, I kind of just decided that I'm going to be there, like for Hayu all the way through this. Everyone gives you that support right at the beginning, but if you're able to stay through it, like stay with it, offering that as the months and years go by, it makes a really, really big difference.
Give me a kidney, now you give me Lego.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
We're a couple of days out from the surgery now, and I'm going to be on this machine every day that prepares my blood to accept his blood type. And at every step along the way, he's been by my side and keeping me company through all of it.
Just whatever they need to do, just do it, and we'll get there together.
We're gonna
Standard.
Yeah. Just that and socks. Gonna have a big party. I want to be surrounded by friends. That's what I need right now.
I took all the aspirin in the house and I threw it out. I went through everything. I was like,
You'll definitely live.
Really grateful for the phone call we're gonna have tomorrow because I'm gonna really need the emotional support for that.
Dude, I'm here for you. Always will be. We're all here for you.
I love you so much, and I am so supportive of you, and I would do anything in the world, just gonna, okay? I'm gonna go.
Okay. I love you.
I love you so much.
The camera could be here so that everyone was like, you could see everyone there. It's been a hectic couple of days, especially leading up to this, and I'm probably not going to get any sleep tonight, and I can't move my arm because I have an IV in it, and it hurts a lot, but it's okay. Thank you so much for coming out. It means so much to me, and for everyone else, thank you for following this. Thank you for supporting us. It means the world to us. It really does. I'm just really happy that everyone's out here to seeing everyone before we're going in, because I love you guys so much. Thank you for following this, and I'll let you know how it goes. See you guys.
Okay, I'm back. I think it looks like they're going to take me away now.
Okay. You take care, dude, and you're all up. I'll see you soon.
I love you very much. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much. Take care, you're awesome.
Bye-bye. Hi.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
You zoom in?
I'll zoom in. This is very irresponsible. So right after the surgery, after waking up, it was like there was some anesthetic still in me, and every now and then it would pass through. But once I was up, I was feeling actually pretty good.
My experience coming out of the surgery was, without a doubt, the most difficult day of my life. But at every single step, we could not have gotten everything more like perfectly in line for what needed to happen.
The goal for me, right, is to reach at least 50% function because there's one kidney. 50% is all a person needs. I was at 51% function, I think, within 3 or 4 days as well. So the doctor came in 2 days ago. They visit us every morning, and they described it as a super kidney.
So I just finished the conversation with Anne, coordinator, and it went really well. She gave me this pin, and it's a pin that they give to every living organ donor. These people are incredible. They do this every week.
Yeah, they're incredible people.
They really are. I want to give you a hug. I know it's hard. Here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Good luck.
everything. Yeah, we'll need it.
You want to?
I want to keep it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello. Hi, Jack.
It doesn't feel like I was up there for too long, but I know you.
For me, it was forever.
Forever.
Forever. Oh my God.
I got to sleep.
This feels like that awkward point in Lord of the Rings where they cast the ring into Mordor, and then there's just the long walk back. They skipped that in the movies, but in the books it was there.
Yeah.
You got to join them on the walk back, and it feels like that. It's like we did the thing, and now it's time to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was not expecting this. It is quite beautiful.
The doctor had just called your kidney that you gave me a super kidney. And I immediately knew, like, I needed, like, some patriotic-looking medallion
You
design.
knew what needed to be done.
Yeah, the numbers are looking really good. And I'm now on about half the immunosuppression I was on when I got out of the hospital.
I mean, it's getting really close to life being back to normal.
I want to visit all my friends. I want to go to all the cons, the events, and, you know, around Europe and stuff.
And I'm sure everyone that goes to those conventions is going to be really happy to see you there. Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
This is like built into the cliff. I see that. What kind of sites have you seen? Where have you gone? I'm like, I've gone to this hospital and this hospital.
This is a plush kidney.
Did it.
We did it. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Until next time.
Yeah, see you tonight on VR.
I'll see you tonight in VR.
Yeah.
So you have like 3 kidneys now?
My kidney function is at 81%.
That's more than if he had 2 kidneys at his age.
And like every day I'm sitting here wondering, like, oh my God, I can't believe it worked out.
Me too. VR has literally saved my life. People tend to say online friends aren't real friends, but I got my kidney from one of them.
Oh, Exo just wrote to me.
Aw. Thank you all so much for watching Reality of Hope. We cannot thank you enough for appearing and sharing this journey that all the people on stage here absolutely shared. Please, if you would like to ask questions to either Joe Hunting, Hayu, Photographer, or Max Films, please direct your questions to the Reality of Hope screening Q&A Discord channel in our Ferality Discord. We have a lot of great questions. We're going to try to get through as many as we can, but we just want to give a great thank you to all the people here today sharing this lovely story with us, and I hope you're all having a great time. But yeah, we will start up the questions. Just to get this out of the way and make sure that people know and aware, the one in many ask, where will this doc be streaming, and are there plans for a physical release?
Ooh, good question. The
Very
film
good.
will be releasing this month in June. We will be announcing how and where very soon on our social media channels. You can find me at Joe A. Hunting, Max Films VR as well. We'll all be sharing the news, and also we have a film account as well on Blue Sky. So we'll be announcing it very soon. I'd love to share that now, but it'll be worth the wait. I can say that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to get to the rest of the questions. This one goes to Photographer. This comes from Jack Rabbit. Photographer, you said you surprised yourself how quickly you made the choice to donate. Just how fast did you make up your mind to do it?
I'll make it quick, but there's a whole story behind that. I was sitting. I had fallen asleep on my couch the night before, and I woke up and saw the thing on Twitter of Hayu saying, "Hey, it looks like my kidneys are failing, and I'm gonna have to likely start dialysis soon." And I'm still in my sleeping state. I just go and write a DM to him. I think it was on Telegram, and I'm just like, "Don't worry, I'll give you one of mine. You're good." And then I turned the phone off and went back to sleep. And
that's not uncommon. As it was mentioned to us, like a lot of donors, they just kind of know they want to do it, which is surprising. But like this is like a trend that they see.
Yeah, so it's something that I wanted to. Yeah, you're welcome. I'd thought about donating a kidney for like years at that point, and I just kind of said to myself, like, when the opportunity comes up, I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to do the thing. And And I saw that and it was like, oh, okay, there it is. That's the opportunity. Cool. Boop, boop, boop. Great. And so it was like, I think I had already decided a long time ago that I wanted to do that. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, like, I don't know if I'm willing to donate a kidney yet, but we'll see what happens. Well, I mean, I guess I'll know if the situation comes up. All right. Next question comes from JackNut. Knowing some can have families or groups that might not be supportive of their interests, like myself, who's been getting into furry communities and having these distant friendships. Any advice for those trying to break out of a similar confinement?
Who wants to take that?
Health-wise confinement, or are we talking about communities in general?
I guess it's like in response to how you were both very distant from each other, but made the effort to be so connected with each other, even in such a long distance thing, to the point where you are donating a kidney to one another. What is the feeling towards how you broke through that?
There's something to be said about how special VR is specifically. We might not realize just how special it is compared to regular online talking, but we were told that online friends, donating to each other, that does happen. But this is the first time someone from another country has ever donated an organ to someone they had not yet met in person before. That's what we were told, and that's like ever. And so there's something just fundamentally different about VR and how we interact in it, and how we consider each other, and how it really is in person. And that was the one thing that was different about this case and why it's unprecedented. So VR as a space, and things are getting cheaper and more accessible. I know not everyone can stomach the motion of being in the headset, but in this case, VR specifically was what enabled this. And also general advice, if you're having trouble with meeting friends and you seem to run into the same issues over and over, meeting the same kind of people that you don't vibe with, something might be going wrong in your method, and you may need to change your method of where you go and what you pursue in order to find different people. Otherwise, you will get the same results. That's just general advice as well.
Yeah.
Can I jump in on that one too? It also feels like that question is also like touching upon the willingness to celebrate the community that you feel belonging to and VR outside of this space. And that was something that was really important in terms of the representation of the film, that your story was an opportunity for us to really celebrate specifically the VR furry community through Furality and your community and the people around just the transplantation. And as you see in the film, that was celebrated by people outside of it. The nurses that were looking after you during dialysis wore the headsets, and they were like, let's try this. I want to give it a go. And they didn't judge, the VR furry community as others might do initially. It was just an immediate, oh, I'm so fascinated by this. And that was a response we really wanted to motivate in this film, was for people to really engage and be in awe of what this community is and how it could benefit in such a meaningful way. So yeah, I think you have to love who you are and own that.
Yeah, I actually want to point out, I saw people in the comments during the stream, people were saying that the nurses seemed really nice and whatnot. They were. Oh my gosh, the nurses were so wonderful. They were some of the best, most amazing people I've ever met. Like they go in every day, they do all this work, and they were just so friendly and fun, and they were really excited to try out the headsets and stuff. It was great. Yeah. Love the nurses.
Entirely by chance that it happened to line up.
Yeah.
You arrived with the headset in hand that day, and they both happened to be there.
Yeah.
We packed the cameras down.
They're wonderful.
We immediately had to open all back up
Not
again.
scripted at all. It was really fun just walking in.
Yeah, it was such a big part of the film too, and yeah, it's completely like it just happened. It just happened that way. It was great.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you so much. Bit of a lighter question from Curly. Pretty important, I'd say. What's the best way to clean tears out of a VR headset? Because I think we all need to know that. We need to know this right now.
So I saw a lot of crying emojis.
Use a microfiber cloth and just be very careful if you have a Quest Pro.
And no soap. Never use soap in there.
Definitely.
I mean, maybe like the detachable stuff, but like.
Personally, I think dunking your whole headset into your bathtub is the best way to do it, but that's just me. Just don't do that. Actually, please don't actually do that.
Yeah.
All right. So this is both question for Hayu and a question for Photographer in order. So these both come from Queso Coyote. For Hayu, when you were diagnosed with kidney failure, did both your kidneys suffer failure? And then for Photographer, was it by chance that your kidney was donated to Hayu are compatible with them, or is there a way to make them compatible?
So
it's a great
with
question.
The diagnosis, it was 2018. I was told there was something wrong, and I was told, at the current rate, it would take, 40 years or so, 30 years for it to become a problem. But things kind of went off a cliff in 2022 without me realizing we caught it at the end of the year. And it was both kidneys equally, something about my body causing some kind of autoimmune inflammation, tubulointerstitial nephritis, if anyone's curious. But we do not know the cause, and it is likely some illness that I got as a kid, very, very young age, that did some damage. And past a certain point, the kidneys, if you're very low, the kidneys will start to damage themselves. Kidneys usually can heal all the way back up. It's a very slow process, and past a certain amount of damage, they actually start to hurt themselves more than they can heal themselves. So that was a thing that happened. And that's how it ended up happening for both at the same time.
Yeah. As for the compatibility stuff, when we started all this, we had no idea if we would be compatible with each other. There are two types of compatibility. There's blood compatibility and tissue compatibility. Interestingly, he and I are opposite blood types in the worst way possible. But it worked out anyway, because it turns out the blood compatibility is not as important as the tissue matching. It used to be, but there's new medications and stuff, and they're able to get past that, which is wild to me. But we had no idea. I was entirely prepared to do what's it called? A kidney swaps, or
like a chain, like exchange is the right word. It's where you sort of pledge the kidney to the next person, and everyone ends up in a circle where it all kind of each gives the kidney to the next, and all the compatibilities work out.
So I was 100% ready to do that, but just we got very, very lucky. Not only was I a valid donor, which is a big part of it, you have to be in perfect health to be considered valid, because they don't want to do that to someone who is having health issues themselves. So that worked out, and then the tissue matching worked out. We got very, very lucky, and it was actually worth mentioning right after we got the tissue matching stuff. If you saw in the film, there was a YouTube video there. I was doing a video documentation thing, just talking about this, because I didn't know it would turn into this documentary. But no, it was right after that happened, I went and talked to Max here. So we spoke to Max, we talked to him a whole bunch about what was going on and everything, and he helped me make one of those videos. I think it was update number 5 that he filmed, if I could have the number wrong. Yeah, so he helped me film that because I had a laptop out in Sweden. It wasn't running very well. I needed someone else to do it. And it was because of that Max looked at that and went, wow, this is a cool story. This is worth telling. So that's kind of when he went to Joe, and that was kind of how all this happened. It all just kind of worked out. But yeah, that's
Well, we're
That's how that came
tremendously
together.
lucky to have like the best subjects to cover. Like you guys were just amazing on camera and dealt with us poking into your life in a very intimate way, and you coped like champs.
Actually-
really, really thank you.
Yeah, it's something worth pointing out. The fact that we had all of the people, like with mostly you two, just like hovering around us with cameras and stuff through the whole process was awesome because it gave us something to think about and something else to do while we were sitting there just like waiting. And it's like, okay, the operation is in 2 weeks.
It's actually a good branching question to have because Jade Shadow asks to Joe and Max, how was the experience of traveling with the two and recording all the steps in this process that these two wonderful people went through?
You want to take the first bit of that, Joe?
Sure, I can. I think when you're making a film about something that is quite high risk, or it's some, a medical situation, it's important to be a friend before a director and a camera person. And so it was really important to me that Hayu and both of you just felt really supported innately through what you were going through, and whatever was going to happen, nothing mattered in the film. It was just all about capturing the moment and not guiding anything specific and not putting any pressure on you because you already had enough going on. In terms of, so I just want to say that first of all, in terms of like the travel and the logistics of filming, as photographer Otter said, Max came to me with the concept, and it was immediately like, how could you say no to collaborating on a film with this story? And so we, within 3 months of meeting and meeting you both, we were flying to Sweden to introduce each other in person and capture those early moments of being on dialysis, and then photographer Otter flying out. And so it was a very quick process, but we all connect mutually in the value of VR and got on the same page in terms of what we wanted the film to be very quickly. And so I think from that point, it was a really easy process, and it was just about being patient and what will happen. And we used, in terms of equipment, we used kind of equipment that Max and I both had as a filmmaker and videographer. Like we had equipment with us already in terms of the in-person production. So we worked with what we had, and I'm obviously very grateful to you, Max, for the production itself. And then we have an amazing post-production team within Painted Clouds who were responsible for doing the match cut shot. And they were informed as we were filming the documentary and capturing the scenes in the dialysis room. We were passing it to our team at Painted Clouds, Rob, Tia, Morgan, to recreate that space. So that's kind of a story as well. Long answer. Over to you, Max.
It was incredibly important in the early stages because we were friends to begin with, you, me, and Otter. And just having that level of trust in the early stages of just interviewing you guys and kind of figuring out if you're right for the camera was incredibly important when I pitched this to Joe. And then almost as soon as we brought Joe on board, like VR filming like completely ramped up completely, and we were basically having like weekly interviews to kind of get your headspace. And basically we would just hit our stride in real life. Not much change, but bulky cameras. It was incredibly difficult going through this really kind of unsure time. Like the day of the operation, I was a wreck. Like seeing you guys go in there and like I had no power to kind of have anything to help you guys was really difficult.
It's something worth talking about is that like you guys came in on this not talking about something that happened in the past, but you actually joined us on the journey. I think that's a huge part of.
And we had to be prepared for that. I had to be prepared for that. But
it was very difficult for you.
Yeah.
Worked out good. He's working well.
You were both.
He's doing his job.
Yeah, super kidney, as they said. You both were lovely, by the way. We couldn't have asked for better people to document this. Thank you so much for representing it so well and being just wonderful people.
100%.
That means so much. Thank you. Thank you too.
Yeah, and I mean, even beyond doing the filming, like these guys were with us the whole way through, like visiting us in the hospital every day. Well, Joe had like random meetings and stuff he had to go to, but whenever he could, and then Max was there every single day.
Dry, brother.
Oh my. This next question, actually, I'm sure those meetings were important because this is a question I'm actually curious about myself. This comes from Randfish. How was the story even picked up by Documentary Plus, and how was the filming funded?
Again, so the film was. Go
on. No, yeah, you can
again,
talk
in
about
regards to
funding,
funding, again, me and Joe mainly just paid for the most of the equipment ourselves and our flights. We really did this on a really shoestring budget, and again, most of it was an incredibly kind of cheap film to make, all things considered.
Yeah, we self-funded the project essentially. It was financed by myself and Max, but we were able to just use what we had exactly. In regards to Documentary Plus and getting distribution and film festivals, we were incredibly fortunate to get selected for Sundance Film Festival, which was in January of this year for the premiere of the film. And that was the enabler for us to enter distribution meetings and really pitch the film and get a wider audience in terms of the industry awareness. And Documentary Plus were so excited about the film and wanted to celebrate it in the same ways that we wanted to share it with the world. And so they picked up the rights to distribute it in around Sundance timing. And we'll be sharing more about what that looks like in a few weeks' time in terms of how we're going to put the film out and how it will be viewed with Documentary Plus's help. So yes, it was really thanks to Sundance for that, and big thanks to Documentary Plus, of course.
Me. We have two more questions. We have time for two more questions, so hopefully we'll get through these quickly. So, one more question for you, Joe and Max. How do you keep finding these stories in VR? How do you? This is from Snow specifically. They just want to know how you keep finding these stories.
They're here again. VR is an amazing place, but also the people in it are the true attractors to this platform. And if you'll just keep an eye open, you could find all types of stories, and there's so many stories yet to be told. I think you do agree with me, Joe, that this place is just so much more could be told about what could be done here, not only artistically, but just like how it combines humanity into a smaller place.
Yeah, I've always said that VR is a vessel for story. Like, it doesn't even have to be about the technology. It can be about humanity or something else. VR can just be used as a production space almost. And well, for us, it was very helpful because we were filming in a hybrid way in VR and real life. It's a difficult question to answer. How do you always find these stories? Obviously, this story, I discovered it through Max. And so it was very much handed to me almost. But I know, Max, you discovered it through being a participant in the VR4A community and knowing Photographer Otter and Hayu. And so I think the best answer I can give is to be a participant in the space that you're interested in, because if you're immersed in it and engaged in it, you'll discover stories naturally. So be a participant in what you're making.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's an amazing answer. We have one more question that I can get to. This is specifically for you, Hayu. It's the most important question that has been asked like tens of times in this. How's the kidney up to right now? How's it doing?
The kidney is doing great. We've been reading between 70 and 80% function at times, which is like... I reached a point where if a doctor who didn't know where to look at my blood results, it would look average, and you have as well. And I think you're getting to like, I mean, he's doing better than me, but you're doing above average, I think, as well. For someone your age, again,
it's pretty wild. They told us that these were some of the strongest kidneys they've seen, like, in this process. So I don't know. Eat a lot of New York pizza. That's what does it.
Yes.
That's my professional advice.
No.
Also, do you want to say about the driving license thing before we have to go?
Oh, that's a great point. Yes. Okay. This applies mostly to the people that live in the United States. Not all states, but a lot of them. If you are signed up as an organ donor, you get that little heart on your driver's license. A lot of times there's a little spot on the back of the card that you have to sign. And if you don't sign that part of the back of the card, you are not an organ donor. You have to sign it. And for some reason, the DMV doesn't tell you this. So please check your driver's license. If you think that you're an organ donor, you might actually not be until you sign that. So do that. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, good.
No worries. And I genuinely hope this story inspires and just future organ donors to just be as incredible as these two amazing beings.
Yes.
Aw.
Awesome. We cannot thank you all enough for making the time out. Please, if there's any parting words, let it be known. And that's about time.
I want to thank
you so
everyone for watching and being here. And I'm just so happy to be part of Ferality and for this community and this fandom and VR. You're all wonderful people. Oh, my medicine alarm is going off the immunosuppressants because it's 8 p.m. But I want to shout out Max Kitsener for machining the little super kidney medallion that I designed while in the hospital as well and sending that out so quickly.
Yeah.
Medicine, one sec.
Also, if you see me around the con, I have a little super duper sponsor on my thing. I wrote it myself. It's not official, but I just wanted to point it out because I think it's funny.
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who contributed to this documentary. We're so happy to have made it with everyone who's a part of it. It's been an absolute honor and joy. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Demi.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Enjoy
of
the
course,
con.
thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of Ferality-sama. Thank you all so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.